Now, you are NRA certified in a number of disciplines, right? Can you talk to me about that?
Yes, again, like I said, I started out basic pistol, then went rifle, shotgun. It roughly is 10 of them, right? Personal protection in the home, outside the home, range safety officer, women on target, Eddie Eagle program for children, pre-K to third grade, I believe it is. Couple others I can't think of at the moment. And again, the latest
You got so much going on. You can't.
and the next one is NRA law enforcement certification.
Okay, all right. That's a lot of credentials, man. So let me ask you, when I started out, I joined a particular range. Now I'm based in Pennsylvania, so I mean we're right across the state line from each other. That's why we were able to make this work. I'm not gonna mention the range, but after about I don't know 6 months, 8 months, I think that's when I called you and I want to get a little bit more training. You took me to that range. We did some training. And
no, actually, I ran into you at the range. I was there with a student.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And you asked me a question.
Right. I was getting on your nerves back then, right?
And I came over and helped you from there.
You see what he said? He came over and helped me. But the help was valuable. The help was priceless. But my point is that I think my skills as a shooter have increased dramatically. I'm not patting myself on the back. Some of that is based on the training you've given me. But I noticed that I'm just standing here, and I can't draw from the holster. Well, I can draw from the holster there now because they know me and they know that my skills increased. But I couldn't draw from the holster. You can't step sideways or you can't move forward or backwards. So that's why I sought you out to take me out to an outdoor range. Explain what the difference is in the mentality in shooting at a flat range or an indoor range versus going outdoors.
Again, it's absolutely huge. Depending on what your purpose is for carrying a gun or using a gun, period. Right? If you're just target shooting, that's fine. You're standing in one spot. You're shooting at a piece of paper. It's a static piece of paper. It's not moving. You're not moving. Everything's simple, right? But if your personal goal is to carry for personal protection, personal defense, then you need to do what is more real world. You're in a 360-degree world. Things can happen in any direction. So you may be moving, the bad guy may be moving, you're turning and shooting. You might be in the car when it happens. You might be sitting on a bench. You might have to get up and shoot. Get up and move and shoot. Right. There's a lot going on in a few seconds that doesn't lend to just standing in one spot and shooting at a static piece of paper.
Exactly. And something you said in another video I put up a couple weeks ago featuring you and your partner. Let's mention his name, Chris Smith.
Yeah, Chris Smith, my partner in business here.
Exactly. Now, you mentioned something like, let's say you put up a target like this. So you put up a target like that at a flat range indoors. And the beginner, the newbie, the one thing they focus on is, I have to hit this center target. I have to hit this center target, which is fine for marksmanship. But when I went outdoors with you, you told me, and we had the IDPA backing boards, right. Anything within this whole area, like if I hit here or if I hit here, it's the same thing.
It's all
explain how you come to that.
It's called combat accuracy. Again, at the range, you're shooting for points, you're shooting for score. Hitting the bullseye is your goal. You have all the time in the world to do that. Right? In a combat situation, you're shooting way faster than you normally would at this flat range. So it's kind of hard to get them pinpointed in one spot. What our goal is to get them in his chest, right? And roughly what we call combat accurate is what we call 4 fingers apart. So your rounds will fall within that 4-finger range somewhere, right? So you notice the square is about 4 fingers. It's about that. So yeah, if you can get them in here, fine, right? But our combat accurate, in there is good, just outside of it's good. So a shot here, and a shot here is all the same in combat.
All the same.
The critical difference between combat shooting and target shooting. Obviously, target shooting, you're trying to get score. You're trying to get the bullseye area. You notice our targets have no crosshairs or no circles or anything like that. Our main goal is to learn how to fight, right? Men don't have circles and crosshairs and stuff and numbers on their chest. So our focal point is just his chest. Now you see this, if you can see that circle there, right? That's our main focal point there. Anywhere in that circle is a good combat accurate hit. That shot, and that shot are all the same. in combat. If I shoot there 6 shots in 6 seconds, that sounds like it's fast. But if I hit anywhere in the circle 6 shots in 4 seconds, that's better because that's 2 seconds less that he has to kill me. You see what I mean? Good, good. Slower, go slower, present it slower. You have to learn how to follow the sight. Like, teach us up, bring it, get up by your cheek. All right, keep the muzzle up. Muzzle up towards the top, let it tilt a little bit. It's easier, it's a lot more relaxed. All right, now slowly, look at the sight right now. Drive it slow. So you're following the sight to the target. You see what I mean? So you don't present so fast. Do it nice and smooth so you learn how, you teach yourself how to do it. All right, one more thing. As soon as you start moving forward, your finger goes to the trigger. You're not pressing it, but you're on it. So when you get to the end, you're ready to fire. You're not sticking it out, going to the trigger. I'm falling on the trigger as I'm driving forward. As soon as you start moving, go to the trigger. Now, there you go. So you're ready to fire when you get there. And then fire. Take your time. It's okay. Nice and smooth. Elbow up. Keep the muzzle to danger. Meaning muzzle's pointing forward. Up by your cheek. Remember? Up by your cheek. All the way up here. Right there. Now keep the muzzle. See what I mean by muzzle to danger. Where's your danger?
In front of me.
Right. Not down there. Keep the muzzle towards the problem. So if he rushes towards you, you can start firing right here. All right, start driving it forward, get on the sight, follow it, fall on the trigger, press it right at the end. Good, off the trigger, bring it back. Do it again. Good, all right, you're jerking the trigger. Press it smooth. Still jerking.
Press and hold.
Okay. That's better. He's fine. And that normally happens. You've learned something new. Like, most people don't shoot dynamically. This is called dynamic shooting with dynamic movement, which is what's going to happen for real.
Yeah.
Right? Most people don't practice that way. So the problem, or it's not a problem, but what's happening is because you've added all this other movement. Now you're not shooting as well as you used to because there's a lot of other stuff going on, right? So you just have to learn how to do that. Again, now people always practice, they call themselves training or practicing at the range. You can do this in the house every day. You can do something every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. Practice getting on that sight, collecting. You see what I mean? You do it 1,000 times at home, it'll work great when you get here.
Now, I've gotten into IDPA. I did one match, right? And they do have, like, you have these scores here. You're hitting the center, you're down 0, which means you don't add on to your time. You're down -1 or -3. That the difference there is that you're still competing for a score.
Right.
It does get you a little bit more into combat, stress levels in combat, but you're still competing for a score. Whereas your philosophy is, as long as you're right here, you've done your job.
Right. Well, in IDP, in those competitions, though, you can get all your hits inside that area. Mm-hmm. That's up to you and how well you train.
That's right.
Right. Like you said, your goal is not to have your time creep up. But if you can get them in that A zone every time, then you're good to go. What did you just say?
88.
That's what you got. How many times have you done this?
Twice.
This is your second time. All right, that's okay. That's good for your second time doing it. Now, the thing is, this doesn't change. I've been teaching this for almost 10 years, and the course of fire is exactly the same, which means you should be getting better because you're doing the same thing over and over again. You see what I mean? So you did a great job there. Questions about how we do things at times, but once they see me do it and they ask their question, whatever it may be, I can explain to them why I'm doing it. And in the world of combat being 360 degrees again, we have to make sure that we deal with this problem accordingly. Like a simple one is simply running away from a problem. If you turn around and run away, you are still a linear target, and it's real easy for them to shoot you. If somebody attacks you, you need to run laterally to make them have to track you, which is harder for them to engage at that point.
Okay.
Our goal is to not get shot. That's our main goal. You got four goals. Number 1, not get shot. Number 2, not get stabbed. Number 3, remain upright. Number 4, remain conscious. Those are your 4 goals in a combat situation. If you lose one of those, you're in a deep, dark hole that you have to fight your way out of. And the hole can get deeper and darker at that point.